We have an alternative way of working with Streamlit and creating Streamlit apps, and that's to use their feature of they've got this community cloud. So you got two options. You can either download and install some software on your own computer, do it all locally, or if you would rather not install a lot of software, you can use this option where it will be saved in the cloud. And the way you have to do that is to tie it to a GitHub account. So I'm here on Streamlit. It's streamlit.io. I'm going to sign in. It takes you to this Streamlit community cloud. And the idea behind the community cloud is that it's a community and they want people to share apps so you can see what other people are doing and making. This is also a good option working on a teams. So if you are working on a team for your Technovation project, this is great because you can work together in the cloud. Let's just say continue to sign in. Okay, so signing up, you can either put in your name, your email, continue with the Google account, or continue with GitHub. Eventually, you're going to have to connect your Streamlit account to GitHub. So you say, well, what is GitHub? It's a platform, an online platform that is very popular in the software development world. So most people who are developers have GitHub accounts, and that's where they can save all of their development work. So any projects that you work on, including your Technovation project, can be saved up in GitHub. And it's actually a great place to use as a portfolio, and people can see what you're working on. It's also a good way to share with other people, to work with other people, to collaborate. So if you haven't already, you would sign up for a GitHub account and go through that process. I have one, so I'm going to sign in with that. Okay, and I'm signed in. So this is what you would do. You would create your account on GitHub. And then over here, you could say continue with GitHub. And because I already have an account with GitHub and it's the same email I'm using for Streamlit, it knows to link these two accounts. And so it's going to ask me to authorize Streamlit to link them again together. And now it's going to send a code to my email. Now it should automatically connect them, but if not, I'm going to connect my GitHub account. Now, if you don't get this warning and you just get, there are no apps deployed, you would then go to create app. And then it will ask you, in both cases, it's going to ask you, do you want to deploy from an app already in the GitHub repo, or nope, create one from a template. So if I had, say, a Streamlit app I was working on that I had saved in GitHub, I could open it from here, but we're going to start from a template. And they've got some nice templates here that you can choose to look at and work from. We are going to start with a blank app, and this is what it looks like. It's a very simple app with just displaying some text. It's going to create a GitHub repository for you. So a repository is just a project within GitHub. So each time you're going to create a new project, so it's a new set of files. It gives you the default name of blank app. So let's call this Streamlit example app. The name of the URL is optional at this point. If you were going to, if you had a project, this is just really for practice, but if you were going to, you could give this a legitimate name, and then this would actually create a URL where your app would be available to other people to use. Let's say we're going to open GitHub Codespaces to immediately edit. So GitHub Codespaces is GitHub's online coding interface. And it's nicely tied in with Streamlit, so we're going to use that. This will take a couple of minutes because it has to load a lot of libraries and software and that kind of thing. So it sets it up. And when it gets here, it actually looks a lot like Visual Studio, because that's basically what they're deploying here. But it's all up in the cloud. So you yourself don't have to install anything on your computer. It will take even up to a couple of minutes for this to load. And you'll see once it it loads the code in and everything. It actually even then will run Streamlit in this browser window. So you've got your code over here and the browser here. And also on the left here is your pretty much a file manager. So it gives you the files within the project. The main one being this streamlit underscore app.py file. You can see that it's got some pretty simple commands in here and it's deployed it as this app. So this is what the final app will look like. Down here is a terminal window. These would be commands that would actually run, or you would have to run yourself in the terminal on your computer if you were doing it locally. But like I said, everything is automated by Streamlit template. So let's just play with this a little bit just so you can see how this might work. So we've got import Streamlit as ST, and what this does is it imports all the libraries to go with Streamlit. We're calling it ST just as a shortcut, and then we can just, instead of typing out the word Streamlit, we're just going to say ST. Some simple commands, ST title, and the nice thing is here that as you hover over something, it will give you the information about what you're doing. So basically you give it the body. We want to say my first Streamlit app. And you can see now that I've changed some code over here, it will say the source file's changed. So it's realized that I changed something. And you can either rerun it, but you have to hit this every time. So if we hit always rerun, anytime you make a change, it will automatically update here in this window. So we'll say always rerun. And we see that it's updated with my first Streamlit app. And then STWrite is, if we just change that, and this is saying I haven't closed it, and that's because I got rid of a parentheses. Now it's updated with that. So STWrite, a couple other things you can do is they've got other ones, header, which is slightly smaller than, so these are all just different font sizes. My first Streamlit header. So you can just see all we're doing is really changing the font. We can also do a subheader. Sometimes it takes a moment for it to kind of trigger it, but we've got it here. So my first Streamlit app, my first Streamlit header, and my first subheader, Yahoo, I've written my first app. Now, if you want to, you can update this up on GitHub. However, we're just doing this as a practice. So in fact, I'm gonna just stop there and we're gonna learn about updating your files on GitHub in the next lesson and in the next video. We'll stop there, but I'll just show you what's gonna happen in your GitHub. So if I go back to GitHub, let me go back to my main page. Remember, I created this Streamlit example app, and I was required to put in a repository name, or repo as they call it, for Streamlit to be able to basically take their GitHub template and what's called fork it over to mine, which means make a copy. In order to do that, they created this, and if I open it, you'll see the files, and they're the original files, right? The blank app template. This was the Streamlit app py, which is the original code before I changed anything. We could update it, but like I said, we're going to stop there. What we can do is we can just close out of here. I'm going to go back here to my blank app template. It's fine if you want to leave it here. However, if you don't want to keep this, we can go to settings and we can go all the way down here to the danger zone, and it will say delete this repository. So there's no going back, please be certain. I'm going to just delete it because I don't need it. If you, like I said, if you want to keep it, you can keep it and then use it kind of as a test repository to try out different things with Streamlit. So I'm going to say, yes, I want to delete it. It actually asks you to type this in, really to ensure this is what you really want to do. Because people sometimes do crazy things and then they regret it, and there is no going back. So I'm deleting this repository. The updates we made in Codespaces is gone. However, I assure you in our next tutorial, I'll show you how to save things so you can, write code and then save it and get it updated in Streamlit.